CQ calling radio amateurs and listeners. This is GB2RS, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you from amateur radio station G4JBD in Mapleshall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 9th of February and here's the GB2RS news broadcast prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org, along with links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's headlines: a new RSGB webpage focuses on emerging technology. There's an upcoming talk at Bletchley Park Museum which aims to widen awareness of the radio spectrum and radio transmission. And remember to share your British Science Week ideas. We'll have more on those items in a moment, but first we've launched a new webpage on how emerging technology can be used in amateur radio. Technologies such as artificial intelligence and 3D printing offer the opportunity to broaden the definition of amateur radio, and they can also increase appeal and attract a more diverse audience. For radio amateurs, they offer the opportunity to progress by learning new skills, and you'll also find links to 2 RSGB convention presentations, including the newly released talk on 3D printing, and that was presented by Tom Wardle, 2E0JJI. To watch that, you can go to rsgb.org/emerging technology, and you can learn more about those topics. And we'll be adding more technologies to the web page in the coming months, so we'd love to hear from you if you're involved in amateur radio in any of these areas. And if you want to share your stories, please send us an email. The email address to send them to is comms, that's COMMS, at rsgb.org.uk. Now, on Saturday the 29th of March, the RSGB National Radio Centre coordinator, Martin Baker, G0GMB, along with Andy Webster, G7UHN from the Radio Communication Foundation, they'll deliver a talk in the Fellowship Auditorium at the Bletchley Park Museum. The presentation will introduce people to the radio spectrum and how to get to grips with the fundamentals of radio transmission. The session is being delivered as part of our ongoing strategy to promote amateur radio to wider audiences. Now, RSGB members who'd like to attend the talk can benefit from a 10% discount. That brings the price down to £14.40. And you can find more about this talk. Just go to the What's On section on the Bletchley Park website. That is Bletchley Park, all one word, .org.uk. Now, if you'd like to visit the Bletchley Park Museum after the talk, remember that RSGB members get free entry. All you need to do is download a voucher from our website. Go to rsgb.org/BP voucher. That's all one word, and BP is Bravo Papa for Bletchley Park. Now, British Science Week is less than a month away, and we'd love you to use your interest, expertise and enthusiasm for amateur radio to get people involved. The annual event takes place from the 7th to the 16th of March, and it's a celebration of science, technology, engineering and maths. Now, perhaps you love going portable and could take a local rambling group on an activation with you, or maybe you're a member of Men in Sheds and could deliver a soldering demonstration for them. We want to make amateur radio accessible and inclusive for everyone. So all ideas are welcome, both big and small, and whatever you're planning, send your ideas to the RSGB British Science Week coordinator. That's Ian Neal, M0KEO. His email address is bsw for British Science Week at rsgb.org.uk, and we'll continue to share resources and ideas of how to get involved at our website address rsgb.org/BSW. That's BSW for British Science Week. Now, news that we've launched a competition for RSGB Regions 6 and 7 in Wales, and that runs throughout March. Its aim is to encourage individual RSGB members and affiliated clubs in Wales to build their own resonant 21 MHz antenna and make as many contacts as possible on the 21 MHz band during the month of March. The competition has 4 categories which you can enter. There are certificates for the top 3 stations in each category, and a club trophy is also available. You can find full competition rules and you can get the submission form. Just go to tinyurl.com, and tinyurl is all one word, tinyurl.com/Wales Comp, and that's the country Wales, WALES COMP. And now we have a reminder that girl guiding groups will take part in World Thinking Day on the Air activities, and that's over the weekends of the 15th and 22nd of February. The aim of the event is to encourage girl guiding members to make friendships with those in other units using amateur radio to communicate. You can find a list of stations who have given us details of their call signs at rsgb.org/thinking-day. And if you'd like to be added to the list, then please email comms, that's COMMS, at rsgb.org.uk. Well, now we have details of forthcoming rallies and events. Today the 9th, it's the Mid-Cheshire Amateur Radio Society's Radioactive Fair, and that's taking place at Nantwich Civic Hall on Market Street in Nantwich, Cheshire, and the postcode is Charlie Whiskey 5 Delta Golf. The doors open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and admission is £5. Hot food, refreshments and free car parking are available on site. And for more information you can contact Patrick, 2E0VGF. Patrick's email address is info@radioactivefair, that's all one word, radioactivefair.co.uk. The Red Rose Winter Rally is on Sunday the 23rd of February from 10 a.m. and that's being held at Mather Hall on Mather Lane in Lee, Lancashire, and the postcode is Whiskey November 7 to Papa Juliet. You can book up to 5 5-foot tables per trader, and the price remains at £10 per table. And for more information you can visit the event's website, which is whiskeyMikeRomeoCharlie.co.uk. The Lagan Valley Amateur Radio Society annual radio rally is on Saturday the 1st of March, and that's being held at Hillsborough Village Centre. That's on 7 Ballynahinch Road, and the postcode is Bravo Tango 266 Alpha Romeo. The doors open at 10:30 a.m, and for more information you can visit the event's website, which is Lima Victor Alpha Romeo Sierra.uk. And now we have the special event news. Special event stations are active until the 31st of March, celebrating the city of Chemnitz, one of the European capitals of culture for 2025. They'll be uploading all contacts to EQSL, Logbook of the World, Club Log and the DARC Community Logbook. There won't be any paper QSL cards available, but a certificate is available for working the stations, and you can visit 2025charlie.Delta Echo for more details. Special call sign Alpha 9100 IARU, which is being operated by the Bahrain Amateur Radio Society, marks the 100th anniversary of the International Amateur Radio Union. The call sign will be active for 5 days during each month of 2025, and the station was spotted recently using FT4 on the 10-metre band. You can QSL via Echo Charlie 6 Delta X-ray. The British Railways Amateur Radio Society continues to run special event stations Golf Bravo 0 Lima Mike Romeo and Golf Bravo 2 Sierra Delta Romeo during 2025, and they're celebrating 200 years of train travel. Operating is mainly on 40 metres, but they may also be active on 10 metres using SSB. You can QSL via the Bureau, and you can also read more about the special event stations. Just go to qrz.com and enter the call sign Golf Bravo 0 Lima Mike Romeo or Golf Bravo 2 Sierra Delta Romeo. A team of operators from DARC is active until the 27th of April using special call sign Delta Alpha 0 India Alpha Romeo uniform. The station is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the IARU, and the special event team has been active for around 5 years and is led by Rick Delta Lima 2 Victor Foxtrot Romeo. And now we have the DX news. Thierry, Tango Kilo 1 Charlie X-Ray, is active from Cameroon until the end of February. He'll be active using the call sign Tango Juliet / Tango Kilo 1 Charlie X-Ray, and he'll be active on the 20, 17, 15, 12 and 10 metre bands. He operates mainly using FT8, and if you're lucky enough to contact him, you can QSL via Logbook of the World, EQSL, or via Echo Alpha 5 Zulu Delta. Bjemo, his call sign is Sierra Papa 3 Papa Sierra, is operating as Charlie 5 Sierra Papa from the Gambia, and he'll be active until around the middle of March. He operates SSB and FT8 on the HF bands, and you can QSL via Sierra Papa 3 Papa Sierra. And now we have the contest news. The CQ Worldwide WPX RTTY contest started at 0000 UTC on Saturday the 8th and runs until midnight today, the 9th of February. Using RTTY on the 80 to 10 metre bands where contests are allowed, the exchange is signal report and serial number. The PACC contest started at 1200 UTC on Saturday the 8th and runs until 1200 UTC today, the 9th of February. Using Morse code and SSB on the 160 to 10 metre bands where contests are allowed, the exchange is signal report and serial number, and Dutch stations will also send their province. On Tuesday the 11th, the RSGB's 432 MHz FM activity contest runs from 1900 to 1955 UTC. Using FM on the 70 centimetre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also on Tuesday the 11th, it's the RSGB's 432 MHz UK activity contest, and that runs from 2000 to 2230 UTC. Using all modes on the 70 centimetre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Next on Wednesday the 12th, it's the RSGB's 432 MHz FT8 activity 4-hour contest that runs from 1700 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on the 70 centimetre band, the exchange is your report and 4-character locator. And on the same day, the RSGB's 432 MHz FT activity 2-hour contest runs from 1900 to 2100 UTC. Also using FT8 on the 70 centimetre band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator. And if you entered the 4-hour contest, then you can also enter the 2-hour contest. Another one on Wednesday the 12th is the RSGB's 80 metre Club Championship data leg, and that runs from 2000 to 2130 UTC. Using PSK 63 and RTTY on the 80 metre band, the exchange is signal report and serial number. Then on Thursday the 13th, it's the RSGB's 50 MHz UK activity contest, which runs from 2000 to 2230 UTC. Using all modes on the 6 metre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. The ARRL International DX contest starts at 0000 UTC on Saturday the 15th and will run until midnight on Sunday the 16th of February. Using Morse code on the 160 to 10 metre bands where contests are allowed, the exchange is signal report and your transmission power. And American stations will also send their state, and Canadian stations will also send their province. Well, that's all for the contests for this week. We now move across to the radio propagation report. And this was compiled for us by G0KYA, G3YLA and G4BAO on Wednesday the 5th of February. Well, last week went pretty much as predicted. The solar wind from a large coronal hole impacted the Earth on Saturday the 1st of February and pushed the KP index to 4. The hole was large and the geomagnetic disturbance lasted until early evening on Sunday. Once the solar wind speed had dropped, things got back to normal and the KP index has since been in the range of 1 to 2. The event had little effect on HF propagation, with maximum usable frequencies over 3,000 kilometers remaining above 28 megahertz during daylight. Up until Thursday the 6th of February, we had 21 M-class flares in 3 days. A solar flare measuring M8.8 was detected around active region 3981 and it peaked at 0358 UTC on the 3rd of February. And this was the strongest flare from this region in terms of peak X-ray flux. However, the flare itself was impulsive and didn't cause a coronal mass ejection. Over the next week, NOAA predicts that the solar flux index could fall to be in the region of 180 to 200, and you can make the most of the good propagation as we may enter a period of unsettled geomagnetic conditions from the 10th to the 17th of February. NOAA predicts that the KP index could rise to 5 on the 13th, but it is likely to be in the range of 3 to 5 over the following 7-day period. Part of this may be down to another coronal hole which became Earth-facing on the 6th of February. And there's also a good chance that we could get an X-class eruptive flare from active regions 3981 or 3978, and they could result in a coronal mass ejections. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on solarham.com, and there you can get daily updates. Well, that's all for the HF propagation news. We now move across to the VHF and up propagation prediction, which was prepared by G3YLA and G4BAO. High pressure during the second half of the week brought some useful tropo conditions. There are some wintry showers along North Sea coasts, and these may produce some snow and rain scatter. However, this may weaken with nearby high pressure. There'll also be a change of weather pattern as the high, having migrated to Scandinavia, leaves room for Atlantic weather systems to push in from the west during the coming week. This could bring rain scatter possibilities to western areas of the UK, and these should be more useful than the east coast ones at the end of last week, since the rain will probably be heavier and the fronts slow moving. This time of the year has little sporadic E-propagation, but do look out for lesser events as a result of jet streams, and you can track the jet streams on the PropQuest website. Keep a lookout for auroras from the 10th, and the likelihood of M-class flares is around 85%, while the chance of X-class flares is approximately 20%. So keep an eye on the KP index for any potential solar events that could cause auroras. Next week there are no major meteor showers predicted. The next significant meteor shower, the Lyrids group, will become active in April. So keep checking the pre-dawn period for random meteors. For moon bounce or EME operators, moon declination reached a maximum on Saturday the 8th. Path losses are still low, but will increase throughout the coming week. And this means that this weekend, ending today the 9th, should produce good activity for moon bounce, especially on the gigahertz bands with long moon windows and high peak moon elevation. 144 megahertz sky noise is moderate this weekend, ending today the 9th, but it does fall to low for the rest of the coming week. And that's all from the propagation team this week. This is GB2RS, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Weekly Nets. And on Friday, the Witten Amateur Radio Group will have a VHF and VHF operating meeting. Well, that's all for this week's GB2RS news broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, G4JBD in Mapleshall, Bedfordshire. The news was compiled for you by the RSGB, or the Radio Society of Great Britain, who represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, then please email it to us as far in advance as possible, and we'll include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS news broadcasts, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Send your news to the editorial team, whose email address is radcom@rsgb.org.uk, and if your news items are time sensitive, then please send them to us by 10 a.m. on the Thursday before the news broadcasts. The RSGB retains copyright over all material transmitted. You can find information about amateur radio on our website at rsgb.org. And you can download the full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. Well, we wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS news team. Now we hope you have a lovely Sunday and a great week ahead. GB2RS can't take calls from other stations. It's purely a broadcast call sign, so I'll be moving across now to my personal call sign, which is G4JBD. I'm located in Mapleshall, Bedfordshire. My name is Graham, and I'm now listening for any calls, queries or reports.